thing we'd like to talk about is how we deal with out-of-weight situations. Now, there's a few things that we want to say about this. We're not going to show you how to actually use these devices because these are really things that qualified people should be using. So if you have additional questions and you feel like that's important for your role, please feel free to reach out and we'll help you get the resources to talk through these. But we just want you to be able to identify them so you can help understand how they're used. So this right here we have is called a snub line, or sometimes it's called a sundae. And what it is it's a smaller diameter rope that is connected into our locking rail, which, as we discussed, can take more force than some other components of the system. So that's one of the reasons we like this. And this smaller diameter rope is tied in a knot around our purchase line, and that keeps more of the out of balance safely secured. An important thing to remember is that that out of balance situation is going to exist. So we don't want to see something like this and remove it without knowing why it was there and checking with whoever tied it to make sure that that's a safe thing to do, because we will still have the out of weight situation. Another thing to remember is these cannot hold an indefinite amount of weight. So it's important to understand how out of balance you are before you use this method, and think through the process of what you're going to do to get back in balance. An alternate method of this is something that is within our industry called the Uncle Buddy. This is a homemade one. There are some manufacturers that make a version as well. And this does a similar thing to a snub. And again, we're not going to talk through the exact specifics of using them or installing them. It's just important to understand that that's what they're used for and that a qualified person should be involved in operating this.
All right, so what do we do when we do need to work with an out-of-balance system, when we don't have the ability to do an Uncle Buddy and a Snub Line? One of the easiest things to do is just do incremental loading. So it's the average person can handle 50 pounds out of balance pretty easily. So what we can do is we can load a little bit of weight on the pipe, load a little bit of weight on the arbor, back and forth until we have everything loaded. This works well for your electric sets or hanging a small amount of scenery, small things on the set. So what I would do is I'd load the weight here, and then I would what we'd call overhaul, where I'm gonna muscle this out and take the extra weight up. And then once I get the pipe to the floor, hold this here in position. I can just put a little twist in the rope like this and hold it like that, while the people on stage start to hang the equipment that we need there. When they're complete, what I'll do is I'll bring this back in, line set floor going out. So bringing the arbor in, the pipe out. Add some additional weight back onto the arbor here and continue that process back and forth. Now, if you need to load a little bit more weight, one of the things you can do is use a bull line, and we're going to talk through that now.